Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shaka and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm really grateful that you guys are listening, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the support. My black eye is still here, as you can see a little bit, but I think it should be gone in a couple of days. And if you guys want to support me further, you can do that by going to my Ko-fi or Patreon link. They're both in the description below. I wanted to kind of show you guys part of what my apartment looks like, my condo, as you can see in the background. There is the pool that I almost never use. I think I've used it twice or 3 times in the 6 months I've been here. It's terrible, I know. Anyways, it's nice to look at least. And this is just the lobby area where you pass by in order to go into the building. So today I wanted to speak to you guys about gratitude and how I've been kind of discovering random new things to feel gratitude for in the past few months, I would say. Yeah, I think it's months. I never really actually thought about these couple of things before as a source of gratitude for me in my life, because I guess I lived in areas where they were abundantly available and I didn't have to worry about it in the past. But now they're becoming more and more scarce and something that I have to think about on a daily basis. And so I'm feeling more and more gratitude for these 2 particular items that, as I said, in the past I never thought about. I never gave them 2 seconds of thought, and now it's becoming more and more poignant and more interesting and something more that I think about. And a couple of them, as I said, are fresh air, fresh breathable air, and fresh drinking water. Now, I've always lived for the past 17 years, I lived in Toronto, so I never really had to worry about clean drinking water there or clean air. The air there is very fresh. The regulations on the cars and the traffic and the factories are very strict, of course. The standard of living is very high. And also the water that comes from the tap is absolutely drinkable unless you worry about fluoride, and that's really easy to take out from the water. So, I never worried about that couple of things when I was back in Toronto. Even before that, I never even thought about it because back then pollution wasn't that much of a big deal in my youth, I guess. But now I'm sitting here, obviously living in Thailand, and I love Chiang Mai, and I've told you guys this. I love Chiang Mai to death. I'm not berating it or blaming it or complaining about it. But I really do notice a change in the way I look at clean drinking water and the way I look at clean breathable air. I think I've spoken to you guys before about smoky season. So there are these few months, I would say 4 months. It starts around end of January, so February, March, April, May, almost until June. So 4 months, February, March, April, May, yeah. So those 4 months, basically what happens is that the farmers start burning crops, and there is this smoky season where basically a thick layer of smog and smoke covers the city, especially because we're in a bowl-like valley area. So it's very hard for the air just kind of descends upon us, and it's very hard for the air to move around, or there's not a lot of breeze either. It's hot, and so it just sits there, and we're literally just sitting in a fog of polluted air, of smoke, basically smoke that comes from crops being burned in order to plant new crops. Now there's a lot of politics associated with it and agricultural craziness and traditions that I'm not going to speak about. But in this particular video, I just wanted to speak to you guys about how every single day I would get up during smoky season and check the AQI, which is the air quality index. And those days where it was below 400, I would just sit there and think, oh, okay, that's great. It's a good day today. I can actually, I'd still wear a mask and still have an air purifier going, but I think to myself, all right, good day, good air quality, better than normal, better than before. And now, obviously, it's not smoky season. So right now, they're not burning crops, or if they are, it's not that much so that it results in us not being able to breathe. There's not that much smoke or smog in the air. Pretty much, there is obviously pollution, and you can tell the AQI is not perfect, it's not green, but it is reasonable. But the fact that I actually even think about these things when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do now is not check Facebook. Maybe that's the 3rd or 4th thing, but the first thing I do is I check the air quality index. I'll sit down and I'll look at the app on my phone and look at what the AQI looks like. Something that I would never, ever have thought about previously. Like, that's something that I've never, ever thought about, really. And so it's really interesting to me how something like that, something that has been out of my consciousness realm in the past, has become such an important part of my daily routine. And throughout the day, I will check the AQI index just to make sure that everything's fine. Do I need to wear a mask? Do I need to take extra precautions, etc., right? Again, something that I would never have thought about previously, but something that has become a part of my daily routine now. The second thing, obviously, is clean drinking water. And a lot of people in Thailand, I think, or in Chiang Mai, drink the tap water. They say that you get used to it, all those contaminants in there eventually, or the germs in there, you get used to it and you don't have to worry about it. But I've always been a little bit careful about that stuff. I really don't want my liver cleaning out more things than it already has to. And so obviously I get water delivered, and then I use a Brita water filter and things like that. But again, another thing that was completely out of my consciousness realm, something that I never even thought about, something that I didn't need to think about, of course, right? I would just have a glass of water. I mean, I would be able to turn on the cat tap, put water in it, drink it without even thinking about, okay, what's in the water here, and am I able to drink it, or is it something that is feasible for me or healthy for me to do, drinking tap water, things like that. But now, of course, every single drink of water that I take here, I think about the fact that I'm grateful that I have the capability or the capacity to clean up that water. And again, things that I would never have thought about before are now a daily source of, I wouldn't say consternation necessarily, just daily source of thought, of consciousnness, of questioning. Is this good enough? Is the air good enough? Can I go outside? Even doing these videos outside, I am always checking the AQI to make sure that I can stand outside for such a prolonged period of time without wearing a mask. I've shown you guys, I think, a picture of me in the mask, and it looks pretty forbidding, and so I try not to wear it as much as possible, because it does seem like a little bit crazy, because no one else wears it, obviously. No one else right now in this moment in time is wearing a mask. Maybe I'm just being extra paranoid. But I do, as I said, I do notice a difference. When the air quality is bad, I do notice that I get extra migraines, my stomach aches a little bit more, I'll just get random aches and pains, things that are not explainable by anything else. And as soon as the air quality goes back to normal, I notice that all of those random pains and aches kind of get alleviated automatically. So obviously I believe there's some kind of connection there. Also, I also do realize that most people do not consider or think about their lungs as much as we consider or think about our hearts, our heart health, or our brain health. I think we think about our brain and heart more than we think about our lungs. Our lungs are just, doing their own thing, and we just leave them to it. We don't think about, okay, maybe I should help them out a little bit, right? The only reason I obviously think about it a little bit more is because I've lived in Chiang Mai, where the air quality is so bad that I have to take care of it, but also because of the fact that I did yoga, and pranayama is a big part and parcel of being a yogi. You have to pay attention to your breath. And deep breathing, deep belly breaths is a big part of it, right? So obviously that's one of the reasons why I really do pay attention to it. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. I just thought it was interesting that I think as time goes on, it won't just be me who thinks about air quality or water quality, things like that. I think as time goes on, a lot of people that I speak to in different countries, not only in Thailand, Singapore, I have students or contributors in Singapore that talk about the fact that the air quality there is really bad. London, when I visited my friend in London, she talked about the fact that they use diesel. A lot of the cars use diesel, and therefore the air quality there is getting bad as well. And so things like that. I think it's just in general, I think these couple of things are going to become sources of consternation or sources of problems in the future, because we're not paying attention to it now. It doesn't mean that we won't have to in the future. So again, I thought I'd share this with you guys. I hope that you found it useful. I always like sharing random things about my life here, because a lot of people obviously don't know all the different part and parcels of living in a different country, especially in an Asian country like this. I think there's so many different aspects to it that I didn't know about when I actually first moved in, and I'm realizing and learning slowly. If you guys have any questions, obviously, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll expand on it. And of course, if you want to support me further, you can do that by going to my Ko-fi or Patreon link. They're both in the description below. And I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.